Legendary battles on the sea and on the land have made Hampton, Virginia, an area rich in American history. People travel from far and wide to this region to explore its past. Today, they are here to experience a war of massive horsepower. Hurry up and get your tickets. The show's about to begin. Grab that last autograph from your favorite driver and head to your seat. It's time for the drivers to strap in and go racing. The NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour is at Langley Speedway in Hampton, Virginia for the HoosierDriver.org 150. Hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Ray Evernham, and Derek Perniciglio will be joining us in just a few minutes. A track that's rich in its own history. Langley Speedway here in the southeast, ready for the modified to make their name in the northeast, Ray. And here we are, about 177 miles south of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, Ralph, sitting right there, Langley Speedway, and as you can see, it's round and slick. But look at our points. Justin Bahnson, and Chase Dowling, young guys out front.
And a tight points battle in Bahnson, your boy, he has been so smooth so far this year.
And fast, really fast.
Let's learn more about this racetrack. Here's Derek Perniciglio.
You know, there's a lot of variables going into this race tonight for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. The first was the heat. It was hot today, up over 114 degrees. Made for some very uncomfortable conditions, and it also made for a hot and slick racetrack. A lot of drivers were talking about sliding around out there. The other issue that the drivers were dealing with today was this racetrack. This old racetrack right here, it's tough, it tears up tires. So over the winter, track actually added new pavement in the corners, but it's also presented a problem for some of these drivers as far as losing grip going in the corner, getting a little bit of grip once they're on the new pavement, and then that transition up off where they slide the car. So there's going to be a lot of factors in tonight's races. A few guys have hit the setup tonight. They're very happy. A lot of guys are playing the guessing game. So we're going to see what happens around lap 100 when they get the mandatory caution to come in and make changes.
Ray, as a fan, I love seeing an old racetrack. That means I'm going to see my driver get up on the wheel.
Oh, yeah, when those tires wear out, the steering wheel gets a little bit more work, Ralph.
And you can see Bahnson has been working the wheel better than everybody with 3 wins already this season. Let's take you back in the day to 2010 when the Southern Modified Tour made a whole bunch of noise here in Langley. Here's Brandon Heyer in the 44 having some troubles on this given night. Here's a good battle. That's Tim Brown in the black 02 and Savali on the outside. They'd go wheel to wheel for a while. When it was all done, it was Tim Brown taking the checkered flag here at Langley. His 6th career Whelen Southern Modified Tour win. Getting closer to race time here at Langley, let's head back down trackside and meet our pole sitter with Derek.
Well, Ryan Preece has been one of the hottest NASCAR drivers as of late, not just on the Tour, but also in the NASCAR Xfinity Series when he won at Bristol earlier this year and took home the Dash for Cash. But we're racing here tonight at the Langley Speedway, and it's a hot night. The track is slick. What can you do to stay out front? Because it looks like everyone's going to try to save tonight, but you've got to keep ahead of everyone else.
I'm not really worried about staying ahead of everybody. I'm just going to race my race. This race isn't going to be won in the first 100. It's going to be won in the last 50. So, I feel like we have a really, really balanced race car. I'm just going to kind of ride it out for the first 30, let everybody else see where they're planning on running and how hard they're going to run, and then we'll take those 70 laps kind of to gauge how our car is for the stop when it's going to matter.
Take a walk with me to the front of the car. Just take a look at the windshield here. You run a half windshield. Now, compared to the Xfinity Series where you guys have cool suits, air-conditioned helmets, you're not really wearing a cool suit tonight, just a regular fire suit. What do you do to stay cool during these conditions? Can you get enough of a breeze through the cockpit with just the half windshield?
So you'd be surprised. Actually, we don't get much of a breeze at all. So if you stick your hand outside the outside right where the window net is, you can kind of get something in there. But overall, there's not much airflow, a lot less than people think. We'll be all right, though.
Ryan Preece is going to bring the field to green tonight on a hot night here at the Langley Speedway.
And, Ralph, one thing you've got to remember, you're sitting right behind that motor, so that hot air is still blowing right in on you through that half windshield.
It is going to be a warm night in the cockpit of these modifieds here in Langley. Recently, Arthur A.J. Vogel, a NASCAR Modified Tour official and longtime fixture in the Northeast modified scene, passed away. Our deepest sympathies to his family. Getting ready to drop the green flag here in Langley Speedway in Hampton, Virginia. So who should we keep an eye on here tonight, Derek?
Justin Bahnson will be our Who to Watch driver tonight, guys. The Phoenix Communications number 51 has won the last 2 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour races in a row. He's looking for the hat trick, trying to go for 3 in a row tonight. He starts 5th on the field, and he's having one of his best years in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. During the winter, they switched from Troyer to LFR chassis. They have come to the track every week prepared and ready to win. They said when they roll off the trailer, it's not a lot of work, it's just a lot of adjusting and fine-tuning to get them to the front. This year, Justin Bahnson has his best shot to win the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour Championship.
Boy, for sure, he has actually, last year he had consistency. This year he's got speed and consistency, Ralph.
Right, here's a look at the racetrack. What can we expect out of it tonight?
Slipping and sliding. You know, there's not a lot of banking there. There's differences in pavement. The old pavements wore out, and it's hot.
Here's a look at the starting lineup, too. How about Matt Hirschman? Always shows up, and he's always fast. Could night be the night he takes a win out of this?
As we move a little bit further back, we see Kyle Bahnson, the cousin of Justin Bahnson, and Kyle Eversole. So we got 2 Kyles sitting road to number 7.
A little deeper back, Gary Putnam in the 77, and Melissa Fifield in the 01. Coming to the green flag and ready to go racing here at Langley Speedway.
Side by side there, good clean start, Ralph.
Still side by side as we go into 3 and 4. Priest trying to hang on that bottom, and Hirschman exerting himself and taking the lead.
Matt's a good, smooth driver. We've seen him not run all of the races and does a great job. He's been winning a lot of races this year on other racetracks. Noted as one of the most smoothest drivers out on the circuit. His dad was always smooth. Good, long history of family of modified racing there with Matt. Ryan did back up a little bit. He said he's not worried about who's passing him. He's got a good car, good measure of what he wants to do. He may be tough to beat anyway, even though he's dropping back a little bit.
One driver who's looking for a little bit of momentum this season is Timmy Solemn. He has not had the early going this year that he was enjoying at the end of last year. He starts to the outside there, now cuts to the inside, and he's going to go side by side with Priest. Let's head back down. Here's Derek once again.
The number 6 of Ryan Priest has lost a couple of spots in the beginning of this race. We ran down to the number 6 pit and talked to his father and crew chief, Jeff Priest. I said, is there anything wrong with the car? He says, no, we're just driving right now, just taking our time, being a little bit patient.
That TS Hauler back number 6 on the outside, the orange and white car. He's pretty quick on the outside. Look at this, Ray. He might actually be moving up now.
Yeah, when we were listening to him before, here's a kid with a fast car, a lot of talent. He sounds like he's got a good plan for tonight. So I think he maybe started with his tire pressure a little bit down, was saving that right rear a little bit to see what was going. Now he's moving on the outside.
Yeah, he's got Craig Lutz, and now going to make a battle for second as he comes side by side, Chase Dowling. Boy, that's a talented young driver, isn't it, in that black car?
Oh, without a doubt. We've seen him really come into his own, and I'm going to tell you, Ralph, I'm impressed with that 6 car on the outside. I think, that smile that Ryan had when Derek was interviewing him might have been a little bit like the cat that ate the canary. I think his car's a little better than he was letting on.
Little Cheshire cat going on there, wasn't there? Hirschman, again, you see, 3rd race he's led this season, but not the victories to go with the laps at the front of the field.
And again, I'm so impressed with what Matt does. He just does more with less than most people out there.
We'll see if he can make it all happen here tonight in Langley when we come back. In Langley Speedway in Hampton, Virginia. Matt Hirschman and Ryan Priest at the front of the field, just as they were when we went to break. But problems for another driver, Craig Lutz, out of New York.
Yeah, and you can see that oil coming out of the pan there. Oh, and the other guys are spinning it, and Gary Putman goes around there. And then, in the words of the great Ken Schrader, one of those really important parts came out of the oil pan.
That's right. Well, we're getting ready to go back to green here. The pace truck pulls off. Here we go.
A little bit of speedy dry out there in the outside lane, going to make it difficult for those guys.
Restart coming on lap 38. Scheduled for 150.
Did you see the 2 black marks that just came out of that 6 car? Well, he's not hurting for power either, but wow.
No, he's
I love
not.
these modifieds. When you can step on that accelerator and just spin those tires. Oh, somebody way up high. Wow, that was a close one. But when you can step on that accelerator and just leave black marks down the straightaway, Ralph, I don't know how it gets much better than that.
Caught a glimpse of Rowan Pennick in the blue 3 and Doug Kobe back here. There's Bahnson. Kobe's in the 2. Bahnson in that 51. He has won 3 races this year.
Yeah, and then we see Doug Kobe right behind him. Doug Kobe needs to have a good finish, and we know what a great driver Doug is and how solid that team is, but they need a good finish today, Ralph.
They know how to win. It's just been a matter of them finding a little bit of luck this year, it seems. Dowling looking for his first victory of the year. He runs back here in 3rd on the inside of Timmy Solemn. Timmy in the 16, the Starrett Tools machine.
Timmy working that outside, but Bahnson comes to the bottom now.
Priest getting his first laps at the front of the field. See if Hirschman can rebound here. He slipped back to 3rd after leading the majority of the opening portion of this race as we go to caution once again. Looks like Walter Sutcliffe Jr. out of Connecticut in the 78.
Looks like the bumpers pushed back there all the way to the front wheels, so I believe there's a little contact maybe with the inside wall or the other cars there.
Oh, there's a couple in there, yeah. Joe DeGracia involved. Whoa, little contact.
Yeah, looks like Gary Putnam and Sutcliffe were fighting for the same piece of real estate.
That was Joe in the 23 spinning. How about Craig Lutz, Derek?
Craig Lutz in the Riverhead Building Supply, number 46, goes into this race 3rd in the points. Unfortunately, he's out right now. No damage to the car. What happened under the hood?
I think we lost the motor, but had an awesome car. Guys worked hard all day. It's been real hot here, so just sucks to end the race like this.
Tough break for Craig Lutz, coming into this race with a lot of confidence, but he's out early.
Going to get the restart here on lap 50, so the first 1/3 of the race will be in the books. Crowd enjoying the race on the outside of the fence here in turn 4, and the green waves once again.
And you can see that new pavement up top there, Ralph, but I don't know that the guys are getting as much grip out of that as they thought. It's still, Langley's a place that they'll move down and start to run on that flat. It helps the car turn a little bit, but it does wear the tires out. So let's see as this race goes on here, what lines they do take.
Well, we know Ryan Priest can make it work on the inside and the outside, and now we know Chase Dowling can do the same.
Yeah, I wonder if Ryan Priest is saying, okay there, youngster, you're smoking your tire a little bit, and you're going to be wearing that right rear out. I'm just going to ride here for a second or two.
You think that's what Hirschman's doing as well in the 60?
Well, he is by far one of the most smoothest drivers that I think that we have on the circuit. So, again, you never know. These guys, they know how to save their tires. They know what they need to do. And Hirschman, along with Priest, both have an awful lot of experience in running these long races.
Of course, Kobe back in the fight in the 2. He's just got to get up there and make some noise. He's going to let them know that he's going to be one of the guys you're going to have to fight through to win this title this year. Matt Hirschman's having a pretty good run, Derek.
Guys, just another little note on Matt Hirschman. He came to the track today with just a skeleton crew. He only has 2 or 3 guys helping him out. The crew chief on the entry list is himself. So he's actually going to be crew chiefing the car from the seat tonight. And when we talked earlier today, he said they're relying on that lap 100 caution flag so they can come in and put tires on and make changes without having to do a live pit stop because they're short crew.
Ray, you've been a crew chief and a driver. Do you like having to do both, or do you think it's better for a driver to do one or the other?
I think it's better to do one or the other so you can focus, but he's certainly qualified to do both. It's difficult. You know, again, these guys do a lot with not a lot of money and sponsorship, so he's qualified to do it, but I'm sure he'd rather just focus on driving that race car.
Bahnson moving up into the top 3 now.
And we see Solemn and Kobe right there hanging around with those guys. And I'm going to tell you, both of those guys need to get some points today.
Let's learn more about the driver leading the pack.
Chase Dowling, your leader right now in the number 15 machine. He's the 2015 Rookie of the Year on the Tour. Actually put this ride together just a few weeks before the season started, and he's really taking advantage of it. He sits second in the points right now, looking for his very first win. We talked to his crew chief, 20-year-old Steven Kopsick, and asked him has he said anything over the radio. He said not much, except that the car feels really good and stable. He's not overdriving it right now, and we're just riding.
Young team all the way around.
Oh, you're not kidding. You know, we took a little bit of heat because I was picking on those guys a little bit from Seekonk, but really, they are so young and very talented. It's great to see the modified series bringing these young talents up. And guys like Ryan Preece getting a shot to show what they can do in Xfinity and hopefully on up the Cup. So I think we'll be hearing Chase Dowling's name on future NASCAR series for quite a while.
Well, that's the thing, the way that we have youngsters like Chase Dowling and his crew, and then you look at Ryan Preece, who we thought was a young guy. Quickly, he's becoming a seasoned veteran, isn't he? Battle for 11th here. Chris Pasteryak and Ebersol. And Rob Summers in the 64.
And Kyle Ebersol, another guy that just runs a part-time schedule, does a great job when he runs these races. Full-time, actually, a NASCAR official engineer at the NASCAR Tech.
Tommy Catalano in the 54 in this group on the back end, that red car. Summers trying to get up into the top 10 here. Pasteryak here in that blue 75.
Approaching halfway, I think we're going to start to see a little pushing and shoving, and people are going to want to be jockeying for position as around that lap 100 pit stop, Ralph.
Well, what you have to be careful of is making sure that the heat of the nut doesn't encourage your pushing and shoving, right? Because it's easy to get even more frustrated when you're really sweating inside the car, too.
Well, hey, Ralph, it's the same as being stuck on I-77 in heavy traffic without the air conditioning, you know, so you're going to be, if somebody's in your way, you know, you're going to want their lane.
For those of you that don't live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, you wouldn't understand what we're talking about. If you do, you fully get that.
So will we see some road rage? Very
Probably.
possible.
You would never do that, Ray. Caution is out once again here. And it's the 33 car that is around. Wade Cole, another one of the drivers towing down from Connecticut.
You know, we talk about the young guys all the time, but it's really neat in the modified series. You got guys like Wade Cole, a veteran that has been around certainly a number of years, and there's always a good mix. You know, there's guys that just make a career out of running these modifieds, and that's just I think it's great, Ralph, that we can have that mix of experience versus young guys.
One thing that won't be around any longer is that right rear tire. He was right in front of the leaders. Here's Joe DeGrazia in the 23. Ooh, contact there. Oh, and Joe cut his tire down, too. The left front for him and the right rear for the 33 of Wade Cole.
Wow. Great piece of driving by Chase Dowling not to make contact there. You know, these wheels are so thin metal and lightweight, Ralph, it does not take a lot of contact to knock a tire off the bead.
Well, while they clean up the racetrack, get everybody lined up, we'll step away for a quick break here on NBCSN, but come right back for more of the Modifieds. Getting ready to go back to green here at Langley Speedway. Folks at the Hampton Visitors and Travelers Bureau doing a big part to help bring all these Modifieds down out of the Northeast and put on a show for their Southern racing fans as we go back to green.
Good clean start as we're getting closer to lap 100. Let's see if Ryan Preece wants to get back out front. Oh, look at the bite, the forward bite that car has.
That has been his strong suit all night. The big question is, can he keep it going into the second half of the race? And Bahnson now starting to pick up his pace a little bit in the 51. He comes inside of Dowling. We've got a new car in second place.
Yeah, Chase Dowling just spun the tires there a little bit, lost some momentum, let Ryan Preece get ahead of him, and then it opened up the door for Justin Bahnson to chase him down.
And Ray, here comes Kobe in the 2.
There he is, the reigning champ. And I got to tell you, Ralph, I'm so impressed with Doug Kobe and what he does with his fans and how he represents the sport. I watched him over and over again with lines of people signing autographs, handing out T-shirts. This guy's good for NASCAR modified racing.
He's great for NASCAR in general. Doug Kobe, a true legend in the making behind the wheel of that number 2. Kyle Bonsignor and Blake Barney fighting just inside the top 10 with Summers right there with him. Bonsignor in that gray number 22. Not a color scheme you see all that often, Ray, but I like it.
Yeah, I do too. It's different, you know, and it's a good-looking car. And Blake Barney in that 14, fourth generation modified racer, Ralph.
That's the thing about the modifieds, Ray. The history of this tour, so rich and deep. Past the halfway point. Tommy Catalano, the rookie, having a pretty good run here tonight.
A little pushing and shoving going on in the back there. You know, we can't see that off camera, but I think every once in a while we catch the second shot of something that somebody else started.
That's right. Sapienza's in this group at the back end in the 36.
Yeah, it looks like the back end of his car has been worked over a little bit, too. I was wondering why we haven't seen much out of him. He's been having a great year. Lots of speed in that car as well.
He's got Calvin Carroll in front of him in the black 25. And then it's Ronnie Williams in the white and blue numeral 21.
Looks like we're seeing a lot of guys have the problem that Ralph talked about. They were a little bit loose getting in the corner on the old pavement, then they hit the new pavement. I see a lot of guys turning right getting in the corner, and that is not a really good feeling as you're running over 100 miles per hour.
Here's Eric Goodale in the 58. He's got Barney and Summers right on his rear bumper as they fight over these spots at the back end of the top 10. Looks like Melissa having some troubles on the inside as she has the 0-1 hugging the bottom lane. Let's head downstairs. Once again, here's Derek.
We're getting closer and closer to the 100 lap mark in this race. That's when they're going to throw the caution for drivers to come down and make changes on the cars. Now, it's not mandatory. They have the option to come in or stay out. The drivers that stay out, they move up the line. The drivers that come in, they have to go back out on the track behind the guys that stayed out, which means those drivers that are going to be on fresh tires are going to try charging through the field to get back to the front.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to pit and put that tire on. And then we were watching Blake Barney go around there again. I'm impressed with another young guy learning how to run these long races. But they are all going to have to want to put that right rear tire on, Ralph. I know if I was driving one of these cars and it was slipping and sliding, I'd be crawling to my crew chief right now. I need tires, 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 tires.
You're going to have to hang in there for about 13 more laps. Bonsignor is able to keep Ryan Preece in his sights, but you can tell Preece is stepping up the pace.
You know, you got to wonder, is this, you know, with Ryan Preece being more and more dominant in these longer races, is that something that he's learned from working with the Xfinity teams? You know, because they don't get the same amount of tires that Cup guys get, so they've got to learn to save those sets of tires and plan that strategy. And that falls right into what they're doing here tonight.
Chase Dowling in that 15. He could be a player here as we race towards the checkers. Then you have to wonder about these two, Ray. Kobe and Hirschman. How will their cars react if they get a fresh tire?
Yeah, and their pit stop is going to be pretty critical, too. You know, the tires are wearing out for sure. As you look at that shot, Ralph, that you can see all of those little pieces, those little what we call marbles laying up by the wall there as the cars are coming off. That's pieces of the tire. And so those little pieces of rubber coming off that tire means that those tires are worn out pretty good at this point. It also means that if you get up in those marbles, it could be a big problem.
Caution out once again as Hirschman slows the 60 down. It looks like it's Gary McDonald in the 26 who brought out this caution. There's Priest, Bahnson. They're going to slow down behind the pace truck. Let's see what happened here.
Well, again, really close to the leaders, and it looked like he might have gotten up in those marbles and carried them all the way to the wall. Look at how close it was to the leaders.
There's McDonald's car. Oh, and Priest stayed out.
That was a fake. Well, you better see if he made it to the commitment cone, because that could be a penalty.
Monsignor, Kobe, and Dowling, they made their way down pit lane. They're going to get fresh tire. We'll be ready to go racing once again. Well, nobody has more horsepower than the guys at NASA, but the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, they bring a pretty potent package to Langley as well. Lots of slipping and sliding here tonight. Fair amount of cautions, but so far, Ryan Priest in the 6 has been the star of the field. Priest started from the pole and leads still as we get ready to go back to green. Now, Ray, we understand from the NASCAR officials, this caution did not count as the lap 100 caution. Hirschman did not pit, though. So he and Priest still on the same tire.
Yeah, I think there was some confusion there on whether it was going to be the 100 lap caution or not, so they're planning on doing it again. But still, there's a cone that you have to decide whether you are going to pit or not pit. And I'd be interested to see how close Ryan Priest was to that commitment cone on whether he was going to pit or not, because, as I said, it could be a penalty.
Somewhere around lap 100, we will get that competition caution. Then we'll see if anybody else comes in for that tire. Here's Kyle Bonsignor in the gray 22 inside on the 75. Pastriak trying to hold him off, can't do it. Here's Kobe and Justin Bonsignor with fresh tire moving up through the field now.
Yeah, but when that 100-lap caution comes out, those tires will still be 5 or 6 laps older than the tires that Ryan Priest and Matt Hirschman will have on. We'll see if that makes a difference.
All right, here's the lap 100 mark. So anytime now we can get the competition caution from NASCAR.
It should be coming out. And as you say 5 or 6 laps, Ray, does that make a difference? Well, I'm going to tell you, at places where the tracks were out, places like Darlington, you put a driver out there for a pace lap, he wants to come and put new tires on. It makes a difference.
Monsignor showing the speed with the fresh tire as he and Kobe come through the inside of Kyle Bonsignor.
Well, here we are at lap 102, Ralph. No caution yet.
Yeah, NASCAR will just tell you it'll be on or around a particular lap. But it's up to the discretion of the NASCAR officials as to when. Here's lap 103 now. Ooh, a little bumping and banging there. Oh, and there it is. There's the caution.
So close to 10 laps difference now on tires. So this is going to get interesting.
That's significant, 10 laps.
At a place like this, without a doubt. It looked like Kobe and Bonsignor had to use their tires pretty good coming through that traffic. So, again, when Ryan Priest and Matt Hirschman pit, their tires are going to be 10 laps newer, and I believe it's going to make a difference.
So there's no doubt you would give up the track position and you'd come.
Oh, 100%. Without a doubt, they've got to come if they want to win this race.
Crew looks like they're ready. We will be as well when we come back to Langley. Well, this race could be won on pit road tonight, Ray, but not the way you normally think.
No, much different format. Again, you got to remember, they stopped under a red flag for a 5-minute break. So the guys that pitted early were held to normal NASCAR pit rules. The guys that took the 5-minute break were the special rules on here and couldn't lose position. And then the guys that pitted after that were back to the regular NASCAR rules.
And it's going to be a wild one. I know it's a lot to digest, but for now, Bonsignor's your leader. Kobe's right there in the 2, and Priest has got fresh tires now, and he's 3 wide going into 3 with Hirschman
tires
there.
too.
Oh, Hirschman gets a little loose, slides up the racetrack. Kobe, look at Kobe's number 2. What is wrong with him?
Whoa, he's got a wheel's off. He's lost a left rear wheel. What happened there? Is either broke a wheel, broke a hub.
Doug Kobe's
Wow.
frustrations with the 2018 season continue here at Langley.
Wow, well, we see him moving around. Tough shot when you hit on the left side like that on a concrete wall, and that car's tore up. So Doug not happy, but at least he's all right. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, he's battling with Pennick. There's a little contact there. Now, what I don't know is, did the contact cause the wheel to break, or was the wheel breaking what caused the contact?
Don't know, but it's wiggling and it's off. It looks like the hub's intact. We'll have to see if...
Now, he had pitted on lap 92, remember?
Yeah. That thing, it just left.
Wow, shocking developments here. Derek, what can you tell us about Doug Kobe?
Looking at the number 2, the heavily damaged car of Doug Kobe, walked over and asked him if we could talk with him. He declined an interview. He was just a little upset right now, wanted to calm down. But we caught up with his car owner, Mike Smariglio, and he had just 2 words for us. Wheel. It's a tough break for the 5-time champion here tonight.
Wow, they did not need that. I mean, it happens. Easy to happen, Ralph. We run on these cars what they call a wide 5 pattern. Much more difficult and easy to get a wheel crooked or a wheel loose. I mean, it happens, but boy,
remember,
they didn't need that.
His pit stop, as we go back to green, was at lap 92 under a normal caution, not during that 5-minute break.
Oh, good
where
point,
they could
Ralph.
really
Good
take
point.
their time and get it on right.
Yeah, good point. They might have been a little bit rushed there,
Yep.
but just a tough break for those guys. He really needed to make up some points. Our reigning champion, man, I'm certainly not giving up on him, but boy, he's got a big hole to dig out of.
Oh, look at Priest on the bottom in the 6 with Solemn and Goodell on his tail as they all pressure Bahnson, who's looking for win number 4 this year.
Yeah, I think with about 30 laps to go, we're going to see how fast that 6 car really is.
Priest has been saving that machine all night. Said he's got...
Whoa,
man!
A little bit of bump there.
Boy, great car control by both of those drivers to get those cars straightened back out and pointed in the right direction with Solomito and Goodell right on their tails.
And I think we saw a real class move right there, Ralph. I don't think that Ryan Priest meant to get in the back of Justin Bahnson, and he gave him a little bit of breathing room to get his car sorted out. I like that.
They're racing hard at the front for sure. Racing pretty hard back here, too. Ronnie Williams in that 21 with Pasteryak in the blue 75 and Rowan Pennick in the blue 3. And Dowling right there, too. He's got to get back to the front. These guys all around the back end of the top 10.
See the guys using that apron, the good thing is it'll help your car turn. The bad thing is at some point you got to get back up on the track, and if there's somebody there alongside of you, you'll be using those Nerf bars.
All right, Ray, I've got about 25 laps to go here. What I've got is what I've got. Got to get the elbows up, right?
Yeah, they're not going to be worried about saving those tires. They're going to be worried about track position. And as you can see, Chase Dowling and Rowan Pennick having a great battle right there.
Hirschman's just in front of them. Surprised the 60 hasn't moved back further towards the front yet. There he is.
Ralph, these guys, the tire stagger makes a huge difference. And sometimes when you change tires, and if there's up to a quarter of an inch difference, it will make a huge difference in the way these cars handle. If you're shooting for a certain set of tire stagger and it feels good and the air pressure changes just a little bit, it can make a big difference in the way these cars turn.
Ray, at the end of last year, we were both saying that Justin Bonsignor is a driver that is really going to come on strong. But I'm not sure either one of us thought he'd have 3 victories and be going for his 4th this early in the season.
Well, like I said, this kid had a lot of consistency last year, but didn't have the speed. Now he has found speed and consistency. But he's going to find himself getting a little bit more worked over from Ryan Priest there. We've got a smoker.
Yes, we do.
Tire rub. I believe that was tire rub.
Looked like Spencer Davis in the 82. Oh, man, sparks flying off of the back of the 6 of Priest. He is really pressuring Bonsignor. And Solomito in the 16 could take advantage of this as Davis continues to just smoke the daylights out of that left rear. He's got a big rub going on there.
Yeah, and doing the right thing, slowing down. He's probably going to come in and pit because really in danger of cutting that left rear. And as you saw with Doug Covey, you lose a left rear, and chances are pretty good that you're going to hit that outside concrete.
I don't know if Solomito's got the pace to run with these two right now. As Priest looks inside.
Yeah, Priest's car is just good as he pulls down the bottom there. Some lap traffic. But he clears the pass. Little bump back, little payback bump there from Justin Bahnson. Well, say, come on, let's race.
We know that Priest is good on the outside lane and the bottom lane. How good is Bahnson in both of those lanes? Well, we know Ryan Priest is one of NASCAR's top stars of their next generation.
Hi, I'm Ryan Priest, driver of the number 6 Riverhead Raceway TS Hauler Modified. You know, I would say I race because I love to race. It's what I grew up watching people do, and that's what I want to do. I'm not just trying to get to the Cup Series and then just forget about everything. You know, I respect short track racing because I know how difficult it can be to get to the racetrack. It's not just about driving, it's the whole package that it is to get there. But, you know, I would say that by me going to race an Xfinity Series and then coming back and racing modifieds, it helps bring attention to all these other drivers that are doing it also. I'm Ryan Priest, and that's your NASCAR Next Gen profile.
Knowing how much Ryan Priest loves to race, I'm sure he's having a lot of fun battling with Bahnson in the closing stages of this one.
Yeah, he has done a great job again. Growing up through the modified series, getting the shot to run the Xfinity series, and then winning a race, it gives a lot of hope to these other young guys and puts a lot of focus on these short track modified racers.
Priest now actually opening up a bit of a gap on Bahnson.
I know he's opening the gap now, but boy, that was some really good racing. Those guys, bumper to bumper, side by side. We've been able to really see some good short track racing in the last few weeks here.
Plenty more to come as NBCSN follows the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour all the way through to the championship at the end of the 2018 year.
Just about 3 to go, and I think Ryan Priest might have been holding back on those guys a little bit. That car is awfully good.
Boy, it is a rocket ship. No doubt about it. Something the folks here in Langley know a lot about is rocket ships. NASA calling this one of their homes. And boy, some of their engineers, I would be pretty impressed with how solid this car and this team has been here tonight. But this is the guy you have to think about towards the championship. He might not win here tonight, but the consistency is still there in that 51.
Oh, little slide there.
And Hirschman's going to make a statement once again.
And again, another guy that just continues to amaze us and punch above his weight, as we like to say. They do an awful lot, get some great finishes and wins with a lot less than some of the other guys have out there.
White flag is out. 1 to go for Priest. Hirschman taking a final shot at Bahnson. Coming to the checkered flag, and Ryan Priest will win at Langley Speedway. Bahnson will take second, and Hirschman will round out the podium. The HoosierDriver.org 150 will go to Ryan Priest. He mapped out his strategy and executed it perfectly here tonight at Langley Speedway. We'll come right back and talk to our winner. Well, the racing is done here, Ray. I think a big part of the story is going to be those pit strategies.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the guys that pitted on lap 93 are still thinking they made a good decision there.
Well, this guy made a great call with his strategy, and as we said at the end of the last segment, boy, they executed it perfectly here tonight all the way around. Ryan Priest is your big winner, Derek.
Well, twice Ryan Priest has started on the pole here at the Langley Speedway. Lost them, but now the third time was the charm. You win here tonight on a car. You basically put it on cruise control, didn't you?
Yeah, we just had, like I said, man, I was super happy with this race car. Really, very minimal things needed to be done on that adjustment or on that stop. And but these guys right here, small crew, not a big crew. I got my wife here. I got one of our crew guys' families here. it's just really cool to win these races because they aren't easy to win. And I knew I had to get by Justin as quick as possible because these tires really fall off here at Langley. It definitely eats them up. But, you know, we just had a super good car. I'm really proud of everybody. And, you know, hopefully we can keep this up, keep some momentum, and keep trying to win some races.
Now, when you have a car that good, is it more important to try to get to the front to be clear of everyone, or take your time?
I don't know. That's a trick question. I mean, to be honest with you, you got to take your time, but at the same time, you got to be aggressive. If I didn't go underneath the 2 there off of 2, this race could have been totally different. So you got to be patiently aggressive, but I mean, ultimately, all the right holes opened up for me and got us here to victory lane.
Ryan Preece takes advantage of a dominant car tonight and brings it home to the winner's circle here at Langley.
Well, it was all about having the confidence in that car, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was certainly about a fast car tonight. And look at these results. Ryan Preece, Justin Bahnson, you talked about his shot for the championship.
Timmy Solemn with a solid run in the top 5. And the one who's not going to be too happy, outside of the top 20 tonight. Having a rough run was Doug Kobe as he finishes 24th.
Our reigning champion there could be in a big hole.
Let's hear from second place now.
Well, Justin Bahnson has a strong points run tonight. Couldn't put together 3 wins in a row, but still a good night for you guys when not a lot of people had very strong cars.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, we unloaded fast again, which is huge. We were up at the, we led practice, qualified really strong, and we knew we'd have to have a good long-run car. And right before the intermission, we were starting to gain on Ryan, and then we played a little bit of strategy with that, the caution right before the intermission, and we were able to get the lead there, which was good. But just we didn't drag enough people with us, unfortunately, for Ryan. And we were pretty close, but just a little too tight in the center. And then I just killed the tire doing that. And he worked me over pretty good. He did what he had to do, and the best car won tonight. So we'll go on to Riverhead, and I think we can definitely have a good shot to get back to victory lane and get this streak going again.
Was it a situation tonight where you guys were really good, but they were just a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, that one run when he was second and Chase was leading, I was third, and I was starting to run him down, but he was probably just riding. I thought at that point I had a better car. Then once we got first, second, I could tell he was just a touch better. And then, Ryan So made a great call to come down early and get the lead. And like I said, we dragged a lot of cars. I think we might have confused people that we were allowed to pit for tires there. So if Ryan would have started 8th, 10th, maybe we would have been in good shape. But wasn't the deal tonight. He had the best car, and he deserved to win. So we'll just keep plugging away and just keep going through the summer months.
Still a strong run for Justin Bahnson. He holds on to the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour point lead.
Well, let's take a look at those points, Derek, and see if anybody closed in at all. He actually gains a few over Chase Dowling.
Yeah, but Timmy Solomito, Doug Kobe didn't have a good day, but Timmy did, and we've talked about this guy challenging for that championship again.
The one that jumps out is Doug Kobe back there, 73 points down. Matt Hirschman with a good performance tonight, Derek.
Matt Hirschman showed up here tonight with a skeleton crew. He didn't even have a crew chief. He crew chiefed the car from the driver's seat and still comes home with a 3rd place finish here tonight. And you got to talk about your run because that was impressive because you guys didn't really have many guys to help you tonight and you did a lot of the work yourselves.
Yeah, everyone this year worked really hard. We didn't have the help I would have liked to have. It may have allowed me to focus a little bit more and dial the car in better because we were going the wrong way the first half of the race, but I liked going forward at the end. And passing cars instead of getting past. So, first time I've ever been here. TV doesn't really do it justice. I watched some races to try and study the track a little bit, but it's definitely a unique racetrack. And, if we have the opportunity to come back again, I definitely think I can build on what we had here and hopefully do a little better.
For only running sporadically this year, Matt Hirschman has been impressive.
He sure has, Derek. Well, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West returns to NBCSN from the Douglas County Speedway in Oregon Friday, July 6th. You can see that race at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, Ray, a slick racetrack and high-powered modifieds made for a good show.
Yeah, Ralph, we've seen another good show, and I think we're really seeing a good championship point battle shaping up.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch as we march through the 2018 championship season here on NBCSN. For Derek Perniciglio and Ray Evernham, I'm Ralph Shaheen. Thanks for joining us for more coverage of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Series. Congratulations to our winner here at Langley Speedway, Ryan Preece. So long, everybody.